Thank you, Madam Speaker. With respect to imposing import duties, my life has come a full circle. I was born in a country which traditionally had very high import duties to the tune of 200 to 300%. It was a poor country. It remained underdeveloped. I did not know that then. But being not part of free trade, trying to protect the domestic industries through artificial barriers of import duties, protecting the domestic car industries, protecting the domestic two-wheeler industries, it remained underdeveloped for decades till it started reforms, economic reforms. It is quite interesting to see the developed countries like United States, Canada, and European Union now coming back to moving away from free trade and imposing duties on the products, various imported products to protect the domestic sector. Anyway, the impact of this, we don't know what it will be. Better experts, much more wiser people than me can predict the future under this new regime of moving away from free trade and through the use of import duties to protect domestic sectors. Second, to my colleagues who have been asking that we follow the United States immediately in imposing the import duties on the Chinese electrical vehicles, I have this to say. Canada is not United States. United States is a superpower, major economic power, major military power, and any country, every single country thinks twice before they retaliate against any move that United States make, including imposing import duties. But we are not United States. United States looks at international relations, even though they have major political differences with China. They have got ongoing good business relations, business-to-business relations with China. Major top officials of United States regularly visit China. While emphasizing their political differences, they also focus on enhancing the business and economic relations. But we are not US. We have to think that any move to impose duties on Chinese electric vehicles will certainly result in retaliation by China. So we have to be clear, which domestic sector are we willing to throw under the bus to impose this? Is it the canola growers who export to China? Or the beef exporters? Or the pork exporters? Or the palm oil exporters? Or the soybean exporters? You know, in the agriculture and agri-food sector, I think we have exporting more than $7 to $8 billion to China. We have got a surplus of over $4 billion in our trade with China. But we have to be ready to see the retaliation and willing to confront now in advance which of these Canadian exports to China are we willing to sacrifice to impose these duties on electric vehicles. Good that we're doing a study. We should call all experts. We should call the Canola Growers Association. We should call Canadian Agri-Food and Trade Alliance. We should call the experts who can guide us on how the imposition of import duties will affect our competitiveness in the medium to longer term. And I know you guys want to call the steel and aluminum sector people who are the biggest voices in this demand. But we have to remember that steel and aluminum sectors, all companies in Canada are owned by foreign companies. And these two sectors, they don't export to anywhere else in the world from Canada except for United States and Mexico. So they don't care if China or any other country imposes duties on Canadian exports to those countries. But here we are trying to protect the most protected steel and aluminum industries. And they get the biggest voice in these discussions. Anyway, I'm glad that we are conducting a study. I know my views will be in minority, but we need to, I'm glad we are going to invite the experts, the various exporting bodies, the sectors, bodies representing the various Canadian exports to different parts of the world, including China. Hopefully they'll be brought in. We can listen to their concerns, their views, their thoughts, and also listen to the experts who can say how the moving away from the free trade, how using the tariff to impose, to protect the domestic sector, how it will play in the long-term health of Canadian economy, Canadian sectors, and our competitiveness. Thank you, Madam Chair.